Let's talk about $1,000 cash advance apps. How do you find the right app with a massive approval for you? So here are the steps I want you to really think about. So first of all, you need to determine how much you need. So the thing is, you are looking for a $1,000 cash advance app. The question is, do you really need $1,000 or can you go by with 500? Can you get by with 500 or 300 or whatever? So again, when we talk about a cash advance app, we're speaking about a maximum loan amount or maximum cash advance of $1,000 or $1,500. So the first thing first, you want to check your credit score and history, because those cash advance apps, they will actually do a soft pull or hard pull depending on your situation, but they will look at your credit score and credit history. So it's really important to really see where you are at right now. Are you currently in the bad credit category or fair credit? Because if you are in a fair credit category, maybe you might want to apply at another lender, at a traditional lender. So instead of looking for a cash advance app that will give you $1,000, you can actually go to a credit union or go to a regular bank and just apply there. That way you have a lot of chances. You have higher approval odds of getting the loan that you need. Okay, so first you want to check your credit score. You want to check your credit history, and you only want to go with a cash advance app if you have less than stellar credit. But if you have something above 650, just go and apply for a regular loan, okay? And you can get a loan for $1,000 or a loan for $2,000, not a problem at all. You want to pay attention to your income. So when we talk about when you talk about determining how much you need, you want to pay attention to your income, because your income will determine how much you can actually afford to repay. Now, a cash advance app is not as they don't have strict repayment strategies or strict repayment criteria as you can have with a regular loan. But still, you need to be able to generate enough revenue, enough income every 2 weeks or every month or every week for that matter, to be able to repay whatever you took out in terms of the advance. Now, you have to be really careful in terms of the cash advance app that you go for. If you go with Brigit, like Brigit and Dave, for instance, have very flexible repayment terms. So you have to see what really works for you. This is really, really important. So determine that. You want to also pay attention to their employer and income verification. This is really, really important. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here to have a quick convo with you about Cash Advance app. How do you get the Cash Advance app that's right for you? The second thing I want you to do here is to explore existing funding options. This is what I was just talking to you about earlier when I said, listen, you have to, step number one, remember, determine how much you need. Step number two, you want to explore existing funding options. It's really important to understand that when you talk about cash advance apps, some of the costs are pretty high, right? I mean, some may not charge you APRs upfront, but the way they actually structure the cash advance arrangements, you have to pay like APRs that go into 3 digits in some cases, especially if you don't pay on time. And so it's really important to think about whether you want to go with Empower or Earning or Brigade, or you want to go with Solo Funds or Clover. It really depends. So the thing is, you want to explore existing funding options. What are your funding options? You have credit cards. Yeah, because if you need $1,000 in cash advance, can you charge whatever you want to charge? Can you charge it on a credit card? Do you have a credit card to start with? If yes, maybe it might be better to charge it on a credit card. And the thing is, there are some cases where you can ask a family member to actually charge. Like you can actually give like if you cannot charge the stuff on a credit card, what you can do is you can actually convert the cash you can convert the credit card into cash. So you have credit card, you have loans. You can get a loan, get a loan at a credit union or at a bank. You can get a small loan. You can get an emergency loan. You have credit unions that allow you to withdraw cash from your credit card without paying any interest at all, any fees. You have Navy Fed, you have PenFed, they have that. You have also Service Credit Union that allows you to withdraw cash without any penalties. So you have opportunities. When we talk about exploring other options, maybe you can get a loan from your employer, for example. It's called a payroll loan. So you have payroll loans from your employer. That's totally possible. Or you can get a loan from a family member. So you have a lot of options here, and you have to explore those options before resorting to a cash advance app. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about $1,000 cash advance apps. How do you find the right app with a massive approval for you? The third thing I want you to do here is to set your repayment window. And the thing is, when we talk about cash advance apps, every app has their repayment window. Some apps will want you to pay them back within 2 weeks, like your next paycheck, or some will want you to pay them within 2 to 3 months. It really depends. But the thing is, you want to this is why you want to really read the terms and conditions of each app, because, for example, Chime has a different terms and conditions set than Clover. Same thing with Brigit. You have Earnings also. You have Empower, Dave. So you have a lot of cash advance apps. So you have to set your repayment window and be sure that you're comfortable with that. Though when we talk about setting a repayment window, make sure that you have thought about your budget, right? So if you decide to repay your cash advance within let's say within 6 weeks, have you thought about your budget for the next 6 weeks? Do you have other expenses coming up? Because see, the whole thing is that if you have to pay other bills, if you have to take care of other loans or whatever, so you got to really make sure that you will have enough cash flow and enough cash inflows to repay the loan. Okay. And the thing is that if you decide to repay over 6 weeks rather, make sure that you have a clear idea of how to generate extra cash within those 6 months to repay the cash advance. If you want to do it over four weeks, think about that. If you have 8 weeks, think about that. If you have 3 months, think about that. So the bottom line here is that you have to be responsible enough to actually stick to your to actually honor your words, honor your promise, and say, listen, I'm going to pay this over. So I'm going to pay this over 6 weeks. So I'm borrowing $1,000, and I'm comfortable of paying $150 every week for 6 weeks, or I'm comfortable of paying $200 every week for 6 weeks, and the math has to work in your favor, okay? And because again, you don't want to start actually you don't want to stop paying other bills, and you want to take care of your cash advance apps. Another thing we want to say is that if you believe that the repayment window is too tight for you, you can negotiate with the cash advance app. So what we know is that, for instance, Dave, Empower, Money Lion, Clover, and Chime, they will accept to work with you to renegotiate the deal. The next thing I want you to do here is to see if you qualify. The thing is that every cash advance app has different eligibility requirements. So it's one of those things where you have to sit down and say, okay, the amount you want to borrow, again, because remember, we are talking about a power play of $1,000. So how do you get a $1,000 through a cash advance app? So do you qualify? And what are the requirements of the cash advance app? Remember, most of them have similar requirements. They want you to have a job. They want you to have a bank account. That's it. They're not asking you for your tax return or asking you for your bank statements. No, they just want you to have a bank account. And in some cases, they might ask you for a pay stub, but it really depends. It really depends. We know, for instance, that Clover is a little strict when it comes to cash advances. I will talk about some cash advance apps later on, but I just want you to remember that you want to make sure that you qualify. And if they're asking you about your income, and so they will want you to have a consistent income. If you're being paid every week or every 2 weeks, they want to be very clear about that, about the timing of your payment. They want to know how much you are receiving every 2 weeks or every week in relation to the amount the cash advance that you want to borrow, right? I mean, there has to be consistency. Like, there's no way you will be making, let's say, $1,000 every 2 weeks and one to borrow $1,000 in general. I mean, if you're making $1,000 every 2 weeks, then, I mean, you could do that. I mean, if you want to repay the loan over, say, 1 year, and if you want to repay this cash advance over 1 month, it's mathematically impossible, because you probably will be paying like $250 or $300 every week for 1 month. And so what about your other expenses? So be sure that the math works in your favor. Okay, so when we talk about see if you qualify, this is what I'm talking about. There has to be consistency. So everything has to relate to how much you're making versus your your weekly payments, or your bi-weekly payment, whatever payments you agree to. There has to be consistency so that your DTI doesn't become like too distorted. This is really important. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about cash advance apps, $1,000. How do you qualify? How do you find the right cash advance apps? The next thing I want you to do here is to explore cash advance apps. Let's talk about that, because the thing is, you have a lot of cash advance apps, okay? And now when we talk about cash advance apps, you have a constellation of advanced apps. But the question is, you want to start with an advanced app that you have used in the past. If this is your first time, then you want to be, you can ask us in the comment section. But if you've done this before, go back to the cash advance app that you have used before. They probably have your data. They probably have everything about you. So they are more willing to work with you. They're more willing to approve you again. I mean, we do not advise our viewers to be in a situation where they're constantly relying on cash advance apps to basically make ends meet. But stuff happens. If this is the only option that you have, then you might want to choose your cash advance apps properly. If not, you want to explore all the options. I'll talk about the advanced apps in the next section. It's important to pay attention to three things when it comes to gauging, or when it comes to evaluating a cash advance apps. First of all, what's the maximum amount you can borrow from them? I mean, based on our research, cash advance apps will max you out at $1,000. In some very rare cases, it will go to $1,500. But again, a cash advance app is not supposed to replace or to be a substitute for a regular loan. This is important to understand that. So you have $1,000. You have to pay attention to the repayment window. So some cash advance apps want you to repay them within 6 weeks, while others will accept that you repay them over 6 months. Yeah, 6 months. As a matter of fact, you have some advanced apps that will actually approve you for a 1 year repayment window. So it is what it is. So, you have to. And the third thing I want you to pay attention to also is the requirements in terms of bank accounts, in terms of if you have to provide some kind of documentation, whatever. So it's really important to think about that. So those are the three things I want you to pay attention to. Okay, so you want to explore cash advance apps to see what really works for you. Let me talk to you about the review here. So I want to talk about a few cash advance apps that you can actually explore to get the $1,000. So you have the first one, you have Brigit. So Brigit is great for budgeting tools. So Brigit is a budgeting app that can get you up to $250 whenever you need it. And unlike most other cash advance apps, Brigit doesn't ask users to provide a tip. So the apps is free, and the good thing is that the advanced amounts go from $20 to $250. Okay, and now you have a monthly subscription fee of $10, and you have an optional fast funding fee of 99 cents. And so the repayment is actually withdrawn from your bank account on the date Brigit determines to be your next payday. And the time to fund without express fee, 1 to 3 business days, and the time to fund with express fee, minutes. Okay, so it is what it is. And the next one, you have Earning. So Earning is best for large advances. So Earning is a paycheck advance app that lets you borrow money you have earned by tracking your work hours or location. And the app also has a feature that notifies you when your bank account balance is low, and a feature that automatically tops off your balance for a fee. And so we're speaking about advanced amounts up to $100 per day and $750 per pay period. And the fees, you have optional fast funding fee that goes from $2 to $4, and the optional tip up to $14 per advance. And the repayment is withdrawn from your bank account on your next payday. And the time to fund without express fee, 1 to 3 business days. And the time to fund with express fee, funds are available within minutes. Okay, it is what it is. Then you have the third one that we want to share with you. It's called Empower. So Empower is best for fast cash. So you can get it all the way to $250. So it goes from $10 to $250. And so in terms of fees, you have a subscription fee, $8 or nothing if you opt out. You have an optional fast funding fee, $1 to $8, an optional tip up to 20% per advance, kept each calendar year at your eligible advance amount. And the repayment is withdrawn from your bank account on your predetermined due date. And the time to fund without express fee, 1 business day, and time to fund with express fee, 15 minutes to 2 hours. And then you have another one that I'm going to share with you here. You have Dave. Dave is great for repayment flexibility. We'll love that a lot. And this is really cool. And what I want to say here is that with Dave, you have the ability to get the loan, to get the cash advance that you need. This is really fantastic. And so with Dave, you actually can get your cash up to $500. And this is kind of cool. Then you also have another one called Money Lion. So Money Lion is great for existing customers. And with Money Lion, you can actually get up to $500 or up to $1,000 for members who use other Money Lion features. So this is kind of cool. I want to share with you other cash advance apps. So you have Solo Funds. So Solo Funds is great for peer-to-peer cash advances. So you can get it from $20 all the way to $575. And you have an optional tip. In terms of fees, you have an optional tip up to 12% of the advance amounts. You have an optional donation up to 9% and optional instant withdrawal fee of 1.75%. There is a late fee of 10% also. And so in terms of repayment, you choose the date and manually repay Solo Funds on that date. And once a lender accepts your request, funding takes minutes. And the loan requests that are not funded within 3 days are removed from the marketplace. So it is what it is. And you also have Clover. So Clover is best for no fee advances. So Clover, the advance amounts go from $5 all the way to $200. And you have an optional fast funding fee of $3 to $20. And there is an optional tip up to 20% of the amount borrowed. So now what about the repayment? The repayment is actually withdrawn from your bank account on the date Clover determines to be your next payday or 7 days from the advance dates. And the time to fund without express fee, 3 business days. The time to fund with express fee, instant. And you have another app here. You have Chime. So Chime is great for overdraft protection. And Chime, the advance amount goes from $20 all the way to $200. So Chime, as you understand, that Chime is a mobile company that offers checking and savings account as well as credit builder loans, lets customers overdraw their checking accounts by a small predetermined amount without fees. Yeah, it's a SpotMe feature. So SpotMe is more of an overdraft protection feature than a cash advance, but it still asks whether you want to tip for the service. So Chime says your account can go negative up to your approved amount, and purchases that put you below that extra cushion will be declined. So you need at least $200 in qualifying direct deposits to your Chime accounts every month to qualify for SpotMe. So it is what it is. And so I'm just giving you like an idea of what you really to think about. So now there are pros and cons when it comes to loan apps. Remember, so here are the pros. You have fast cash in an emergency, and this may be cheaper than an overdraft fee, and there is no credit check. And so the thing is, you have to think about that. Now, what about the cons here? Cash advance apps may cause an overdraft fee. Fees can really add up, and this may lead to repeat borrowing. So really be very careful here. And cash advance apps are not considered payday lenders. They're not. And payday lending regulations do not apply to them. So think about that. But you do have alternatives to cash advance apps, though. As I said before, you have small personal loans. You have credit union loans, you have buy now, pay later, and you have other ways to make money. So instead of borrowing, think about ways to actually, generate extra revenue. So here's a recap here. I was just talking to you about cash advance apps. How do you get the $1,000? So I give you the steps. And then I finally also talked to you about the review here about the different cash advance apps: Rigit, Earning, Empower, Dave, Money Lion, Solo Funds, Clover, and Chime. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. God bless you. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.